Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to The Walk. Today is Friday, August 15th, and we're up to Hebrews 12. And the subtitle for this is Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith. Now, when we left chapter 11, it was looking kind of abysmal. It was talking about the persecution and how tough it can be to follow Christ. Well, now it's going to kind of shift, and we're going to be talking about running that race. Verse 1 says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us." Let's break this down. Let's see what this really says. This cloud of witnesses is all those forefathers that they just talked about in Hebrews 11. So look at those videos if you need that background. We're laying aside the weight of sin that can keep us from following Christ. And we're running this race to grow in our relationship with Christ. And we're going to do it with endurance. We are not going to give up. We're going to keep moving forward. This is what the ESV Fire Study Bible had to say. The race is the lifelong test of faith. We run with endurance. The way of victory for us is the same as that of the saints in chapter 11. Pressing on to the finish past difficult circumstances or harsh opposition. The race must be run by throwing off the sin that clings so closely to us because it can weigh us down and keep us from running. The race must be run with awareness that our greatest danger is the temptation to give up and give in to sin, to return to that landform which they had gone out, and to once again become citizens of the world who follow its corrupt, God-defying ways. This race takes discipline in two ways. We must once and for all put aside the sins that have repeatedly gotten the best of us. And secondly, we must focus on Jesus. So we're putting aside those sins and we're focusing on Jesus. Verse 2. Looking to Jesus. Okay, now, who is Jesus? It gives us the answer in this next phrase. The founder and perfecter of our faith. Our faith is made perfect through Jesus because that is the culmination of our faith. Who, for the joy that was set before him, endured the cross. How is the cross joyful for Jesus? Because he was able to remove sins and be that once and for all sacrifice for us. Despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God. Think about that moment for Jesus on that cross. Things are looking pretty dismal. Things are looking pretty bad. It's looking like God is not showing up because now Jesus is dying and he is eventually dead. But that's not the promise. The promise is being seated at the right hand of the throne of God. The promise is that the sin is completely removed from the followers of Christ. That promise is fulfilled. We don't want to miss that in order to run this race, we are looking to Jesus. And that is how we move forward. Moving on, and in the ESV Fire Study Bible, it had this to say. Just as a runner must focus on the finish line, we must focus on Jesus as the God, goal, and the objector of our faith. He is the founder and perfecter of our faith, means that our faith has its beginning in him and it is completed in him. We look to Jesus as our example of trust in and reliance on God, of commitment to his will, of prayer, of overcoming temptation and suffering, of enduring loyalty to the Father, and of receiving joy in completing the work which God has given us. Jesus is also our ultimate example of one who has already run the race and won the victory. He's our source of strength, love, grace, mercy, and help. And we've got to keep that in mind as we move forward. We are running a race. When you are running a race, you're going to have months and months and months of training ahead of you. To prepare for that race. When you do that for preparation, that is your Bible study, that is your prayer time, that is what is fueling your faith and helping you to move forward and run that race. Today is Friday, so I'm going to remind you that there is no video tomorrow and Sunday, but I'll be back with you on Monday. Have a wonderful day. God bless, and keep walking the walk.